Good morning, folks. Welcome to CIS 1200. This is fall 2025. This is our compressed 12-week course here for the fall semester. That should be a lot of fun. So I just want to go over a couple things with you. I know you folks know how to read, so I'm not going to read everything to you, but I want to pull out some of the highlights of the syllabus here, make sure we're all on the same page here. So, hi, I'm Eric Chinesky. Nice to meet you. This is my cell phone. Feel free to call or text me. I've got an office phone there on campus, but I'm not on campus very often, but I have my phone with me all the time, so just use my cell phone here. Um, I've got office hours Tuesday, Thursday in the afternoon, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 11 p.m. to midnight. I find most students are not around during the afternoons because you have busy lives and other things happening here. So feel free to schedule an appointment with me during some of those office hours via my calendar link here. If you need to meet at a time that's not one of those times, my schedule's pretty flexible. Reach out to me and we'll see if I can make something work here. For the afternoon hours, if you want to meet in person, that's F105. It's happened twice in the 5 years I've been here as a full-time faculty member. Most people just want to meet on Zoom because that's quick and easy. But I'm open to it, so let me know. This is our course here. We are online asynchronous, so we do have deadlines for things, but there's no live meetings here. This was a copy paste of the catalog description. Here is our general education outcomes. All classes have some general education outcome that we assess. The course specific outcomes probably don't mean a whole lot until we've learned some of these words here. So we'll come back to these at some point and look at all of these and see that we've gone through and done these things. But again, right now it doesn't mean a whole lot. Um, course goals here. Our textbook, the 13th edition of this database book is great. There's a physical book, there's a digital book. Go Google it, and you should be able to get it from the bookstore. So the software we're going to use the Oracle SQL Developer Data Modeler, data modeling software. It's downloadable and free from their website. If you just give that a Google, well, you can go find it. And then I will set you up with this web-based platform, this Apex tool. A little bit later in the semester, you can actually go out and build databases online. You don't have to install anything locally. It's a little slow, but not having to install stuff locally is pretty nice for this class. And then later on for our final project, when we work together on a project, you all access the exact same database, which is cool. Course policies. I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to plagiarism and cheating. I believe cheaters should not get degrees because if you cheat your way through school, you're not going to go know how to do anything, and then the employer is not going to want to hire graduates from OCC because they think we do a terrible job educating you. Um, so a couple specific things here. If you engage in academic dishonesty, you fail the class. Most of the time, that's plagiarism. You've turned someone else's work with your name on it here. But any academic dishonesty here will result in you failing the class. There are no zeros on the assignment. There are no try agains. You failed the class and get reported to the dean's office. That being said, if you're not sure, just ask me. Right? Oh, hey, whatever it happens to be here. Until you turn it in, we can have a conversation. Once you turn something in, you've said, hey, this is my work here. So all work submitted is assumed to be your original work. Um, Chegg is an awful website. Please don't use them. Don't post questions there. Don't cite anything from there. Just don't go there. They're a terrible place. I have a really long story I'll complain about another time. But they're awful. Don't go there. Don't use that. So Chegg or Course Hero or some other places like that. You can't post course material there. And we'll go down this actual copy paste here in a minute. You can't do that. I know tools like ChatGPT exist. I'm okay with you using it in a very limited sense. Um, it's going to do too much for you, and then if it does almost all of it for you, you can't turn it in because, like in English paper, you can't have one giant quotation or 2/3 of my paper is a giant quote, right? That doesn't work like that, and it doesn't work like that for our class either. So for very limited specific pieces, I'm okay for you using it, and we're just going to cite our source. Hey, this is I had to ask for the help with this one particular thing. Great. Not, hey, I asked for the solution. Here's the solution quote. Right? And I think that makes sense. The college policy here, um, the again, most of the time it's plagiarism. You presented someone else's ideas, work, whatever, as your own. Other times, this acquisition of tests or material or distribution. So uploading course material to a site like Course Hero or a Chegg, hey, here was the midterm, here was this, whatever. That's a violation of the policy. Just don't do it, okay? And that means students who aid and abet. That's such a fun term here. But if someone's like, oh, hey, I just want to see what you did here, I'm not going to copy off you, bro. they're probably going to copy off you, and then you both fail. And no one likes that. I don't like that. It's a lot of paperwork, and it upsets me, and then I complain about it and upsets my wife. It's just not a good time. So don't do it. Our student code of conduct obviously remain in the classroom until you. This is just a copy paste. Sorry here. Well, people tend to care about how you get your grade. So I use a weighted system. So 10% of your score comes from the weekly discussions. Like these are like an in-class exercise, but we're online here, so we use the discussion forums. They're not great, but it's what we have, so don't worry too much about it. We've got a couple projects that make up 30% of your grade. We have quizzes, they're 10% of your grade. We have a single exam as the midterm, makes up 10% of your grade. And then the final project is the bulk of your grade. Here's 40% of your score. You cannot pass this class without the final project and presentation. Okay. If you'd like a WS mark, that's a withdraw after the official drop date ends, I can give you a WS, but you have to ask me, and I'm happy to turn that in for you, assuming you haven't presented your final project. Right? Up until that point, you haven't completed the class. And if you don't turn in the final project, that's fair to say you withdrew from the class, if you ask me. By default, I don't give those out because it does weird things for financial aid. So if you just stop showing up, you'll get an F. The N mark, you have to turn things in or you get reported as non-attendant. It's bad for financial aid. I don't take things late without prior written approval. Just things keep on moving, keep up with it. If you got something, ahead of time you want to talk about, great. If there was some sort of medical emergency, I'm happy to work with you after the fact, but those should be rare. Others, college-wide policies, FERPA, I don't tell anybody anything. If you want to know about grades, I say go look at D2L, the Americans with Disabilities Act. If you need any sort of accommodations, please contact the Access Office. They'll send me the paperwork, and I'm happy to work with you. Our Academic Support Center is awesome. We have some free tutors who can help you with this class. Actually, free is not really the right word here. They're paid for by your tuition and tax dollars, but it's no charge for you to attend the tutoring sessions here, which is great. We've got a student technical help desk. We've got D2L technical support for the website here. Other tech skills, sure. Technology appropriate use. Don't do dumb things with college resources. Be kind online. Got a public safety department. Our libraries are fantastic. I do love showing this here. So one of my favorite things that we have in the library is this one particular database. So if you go to the database here and go over to the O section, it's O'Reilly for Higher Education. O'Reilly is a large publisher of technical books here, so just about anything and everything you might ever want to know in tech here, you can probably find a book from O'Reilly, which is super cool. So if anything sounds like fun, oh, I want to know more about Python, I want to know more about machine learning, I want to know more about cyber something or other, AI enhanced project management. Sure, I don't, you can probably go find it here and get free access to it through our library. So this is super cool if there's anything you're interested in tech. Great. For me, you've probably have read my reviews. I'm terrible at getting things turned around. It seems like something always comes up here, but my goal is to have things created within a week of the due date. This will be the semester where that happens consistently here. Um, if you got questions, let me know. Happy to chat about it. If you haven't heard from me within 24 hours, please reach out again. My little guy likes to swipe away my notifications when he's watching YouTube on my phone. Um, Usually I get back to you, relatively quickly here. Like any good millennial, I'm addicted to my phone. So emails come to my phone, texts obviously come to my phone calls come to my phone. I have a Discord server you can reach out to me on as well. So if you haven't heard from me in a while, just ask. You're not bothering me, you're not irritating me. I probably just missed it here. My apologies. All right, the course schedule here. So we've got about 12 weeks without the Thanksgiving week here, which is nice. We got a little bit of a break in there. So we'll go through chapter by chapter by chapter for 8 chapters. And we kind of jump around a little bit after that. We skip chapter 9, come back for 10, skip 11 and 12, come back for 13. And really, we just kind of touch on 13, touch on 14, touch on 16. We don't go super deep on these. We've got whole classes on database administration security, a whole class on big data and NoSQL. And at this point, we don't have a class on data warehousing business intelligence, but we have other sort of related classes, but not focused at the database level. And if we need to change it, we'll change it here. We've got 3 projects along the way that sort of build up our skills here until we get to the final project. And that's the last month of class is the final project here. And again, you have to do a presentation for the final project, present to me at some point here before the semester ends, sometime around 12/11, doesn't have to be specifically on that day. The semester ends the following Monday. So we've got that Thursday, the Friday. I sometimes have some weekend hours, and then the final Monday of class, I'll usually have some presentations as well here. But ideally, they're done by the 11th. Life is good. You can present a few days early. That's cool. Most people wait to the very last second, and that's sure that's what it is. Not too big of a deal here. So I'm happy to give you some flexibility if I can. All right, that's about it for the syllabus. Looking forward to hearing from all you in the course. You take care, and I'll see you around.